today I wanted to talk about performing live. Now, I've never really enjoyed performing live. However, over the years, I have played live many times. So I've played in bands, I've played solo, I've done DJing in bars, DJing for small festivals. I've done some open mic nights. I've played drums in bands, I've played keyboards in bands. But I've always preferred to be able to get something right in the studio. Maybe because I'm a little bit of a perfectionist. My biggest fear was always playing live and me forgetting everything, forgetting my parts, or making some huge fuck up and everybody laughing, or just letting the band down, whatever it might be. And I always really felt that fear. Anyway, today I saw on Reddit someone posting saying they were petrified of playing live, and it brought back some memories I had from this one particular performance. So about 10 years ago, I was in a band called Wiseman, named after Alan Wiseman the author, not the three wise men with their frankincense and myrrh at Christmas. We were a three-piece electronica band, kind of similar to Caribou, Apparat, the kind of more electronic side of Radiohead, that kind of thing is what we were going for. And in this band we had a frontman who was the vocalist and played a bit of synths. We also had a guitarist who doubled as a bassist. And then we had myself who played keys, but also I controlled all the elements that the other two weren't doing. So drums, effects, percussion, and these were being mixed live using an APC controller controlling Ableton. So my big fear was always like, oh shit, what if anything goes wrong? Like what if the laptop dies? Because everything is running through a laptop. And I'd always get pretty big nerves before a gig, like I'd be proper stick in the stomach, that M&M spaghetti on your sweater already kind of thing. And anyway, before this one gig, it was about our third or fourth gig, I think, and I remember it because my dad came to it as well. He's really into his music, and so I was even more nervous than normal, like I wanted to play a particularly good show. Anyway, we'd sound checked, and then there's always so much waiting around, and I think we were the third band on out of a lineup of four. And we're waiting around, and I was getting more and more nervous. I was going through all the transitions in my head, like when I change the next verse in that song, and when the chorus and what I need to bring in, and trying to remember all these cues. Anyway, I'm going through it all in my head, getting more and more nervous. And finally we're up, and we start playing. And we have these quite long intros, particularly on the intro and outro, and we have loads of delay effects and this kind of build, this swelling, kind of shoegazy, psychedelic-y kind of thing going on. And it's all going fine, and we're getting through the first song and people are enjoying it, we're vibing, it's sounding pretty good, everything's going smooth. And I hit all my transitions, I play all the key parts correctly, I'm relaxing into it, I'm feeling, it's going good. And then all of a sudden, Ableton crashes, and it's never crashed. In all of our practices, in all of our gigs, well, our 3 or 4 at this point, but no problems whatsoever. Ableton, it's meant to be called Stableton, my ass. Anyway, that was the one time it crashed. I was mortified. And it was the vocalist's laptop, right? It wasn't mine. He was the Ableton user. I've always been a Logic Pro guy more. And so he had to come over and try and fix it, figure out what was going wrong. So I felt like it made me look even more incompetent because I had to get the singer guy to come and help me. Anyway, I felt like an absolute moron, an absolute arse. And in that moment, all I could really mumble through the microphone was like, oh, we're having some technical difficulties. As if that wasn't like fucking obvious. Anyway, an awkward minute or 2 or 3 of waiting around trying to get this fixed. We had to reset the laptop, and then we finally got up and running again. And I was feeling pretty shaken, like, my worst kind of fear, like everything going wrong had finally happened. But managed to get through the first song and then the second song, and it was all going fine, and I was relaxing again, and the rest of the gig was really good. It went really well. And at the end, I'm speaking to my dad and my friends that came, and I was like, oh yeah, but we messed up, and like, no, don't worry. Apart from that, it was amazing, and everyone really enjoyed it. And so although it felt like the world had crashed down around me in that particular moment, like my biggest fear had kind of come true, to them it was just like a little hiccup, a small little error, and 2 or 3 minutes mess up, and then we went again. And it wasn't like this whole huge thing that I had imagined in my head. So my point is this: the thing that I was most afraid of was actually one of the most liberating things that happened to me. Like facing your fear, and that big fear happening, your biggest fear happening, in the moment, it just, everything crashing down, but you get through it and you come out the other side completely unscathed. And sure, in the moment there was some real deep embarrassment, but it was nowhere near as bad as I had pictured in my head 1,000 times. And after this, my anxiety definitely diminished, like it was nowhere near as strong ever again. So if you are afraid of gigging, just know that the worst thing that can happen probably might happen. And if it does, and this is the surprising part, you'll be the better person for it. and you'll even be able to feel good about it. That's what's crazy, because after that, nothing else that goes wrong will be as bad as you could imagine. So if any of you out there are scared or nervous about performing, just go for it. You may fuck up, but you'll be fine. You'll survive. Take it easy.